In this video, I'm going to run through how to sow and grow snapdragons, and now in August and September is a really good time to get them started, and then you can overwinter them also. There are other ways you can grow snapdragons, which I will run through in this video, and I'm going to show you that growing snapdragons isn't anything you should be afraid of, and don't let anybody tell you they're difficult. The main thing is just to sow them at the right time, buy the right seeds, and look after them until they flower. But really, they do take care of themselves as long as you get them right from the get-go. So the reason we're going to start this video now in August is because August and September are a really nice time to get snapdragons started for overwintering, and then you can have an early flowering crop next year. Now you can also sow them in the winter sowing method, and you can sow them in spring. So this is a great plant for having a succession of flowers, especially if you're going for a cut flower garden, or if you just want a succession of them growing throughout the summer, and they will flower right through to the first frosts. So a little bit about snapdragons. Snapdragons are considered to be an annual, although in the UK they are a sort of short-lived perennial, because providing we don't get too severe a winter, they will survive the winter and come up again the next year. And they'll do that probably for about 4 years. So depending on where you are in the world, they can survive the winter. So they can survive the winter down to about -4 degrees C in the UK, but they won't survive a prolonged frost. So if you have a prolonged frost for sort of weeks on end where the ground is just hard, they probably won't get through that. But we don't tend to have those kinds of winters, certainly not down here in the southeast of the UK. So my snapdragons do come back every year. Once you get them flowering, of course, then you've got the added advantage that you'll be able to collect the seeds, and they produce masses of seeds. So once you've grown them successfully, got them to flower, and they produce the seed pods, you will have seeds forevermore. I have so many snapdragon seeds, I don't know what to do with them. When you're buying snapdragon seeds, you need to consider whether you want short or tall snapdragons, and you probably want tall ones if you're going to grow cut flowers. I personally prefer the taller varieties for use as a cut flower and a medium-sized cottage garden flower. So do have a shop around for seeds, and just make sure when you're looking on the back of the packet what size they are expected to grow. Make sure you kind of avoid dwarf snapdragons unless that's what you're going for. Snapdragons such as Madam Butterfly, the Costa snapdragons, and the Potomac varieties are all well known and work well as cut flowers. So do shop around for those. You might have to buy some of those online if that's what you're going for. I have noticed you can buy the Madame Butterfly snapdragons just in the shops, in most shops. So sow them now. So the way I sow them is like I sow all my annuals and perennials at this time of year, which is to sow them on a moist soil. So I prepare the soil, compost, and because these seeds are really small, it is quite important to sieve your compost. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but also I do break up my compost with sharp sand. So I use 1 part sand for 3 to 4 parts compost, and then I mix all that in. The sand helps break up the compost and then also sieve it as well, because the seeds are so tiny. The reason for moistening the compost before you sow the seeds is so that you don't dislodge the seeds. Obviously, trying to water such tiny seeds after you've sown them, they're just going to slosh around. They're just going to be washed away in a big clump. They're quite difficult to manage because they're so small, so you're just going to have to smush them around the surface of the soil with your finger to make sure that they're evenly distributed. Just also be aware that you don't tend to get many in a packet, especially not if you're buying specialty varieties. But don't forget, once they flower, you will have thousands of seeds. So it's really important to just get them through to flowering this first time round. Now you can sow them in the winter sowing method, but because we're going to sow them now in August, which means they're going to germinate before winter comes, then we especially need to stop them, 1, from drying out, and 2, once they've grown, we don't want them to be killed by the frost. So we are going to use a bottle. If you can put them in a greenhouse, do that as well, depending obviously on your zone. You may need to keep them in a greenhouse, and you may need a frost cloth even with a greenhouse, or if you're growing them outside, you may need some kind of protection just from the worst of the frosts. And if you have any experience of a lower zone growing them and overwintering them and how you've done it, then obviously share that information in the comments below. But I have seen that they can overwinter well in zone 5 with the appropriate protections. If you are growing them as a cut flower, one of the advantages of overwintering them in a greenhouse is that they will grow taller. You may need some trellis to hold them up straight because snapdragons, once they bend over, you can't straighten them back up. So just bear that in mind. If you want them straight as a cut flower, then, and they do look great poker straight, even in the borders, they look much better poker straight than all bent and all over the place haphazard. So I do recommend, I never do it, but I do recommend you use some sort of string or trellis to keep them nice and straight. While your seedlings are germinating and growing into baby plants, make sure you bottom water them and keep them moist. Don't let those because those tiny little roots will dry out very quickly. So make sure you don't allow that to happen. Then you'll get a decent sized plant that you can start to think about transplanting. And for me, I was transplanting mine into the greenhouse in a nice big raised bed. If you don't have that option, you could separate them out into separate little greenhouse bottles, water bottles, or transplant them straight into the ground with a little mini polytunnel, like this one I use over my ranunculus. Despite what people say, snapdragons are extremely hardy. I mean, they're tough. I mean, I have grown snapdragons that I have completely and utterly neglected. They may be small, they may be delayed growing, they may flower haphazardly because they were neglected, but somehow they just keep going. So I don't know why they have a reputation for being difficult to grow. You can start some now and overwinter them and they will flower nice and early next year. You could start some again in the winter sowing method. They will take longer to flower in your garden. And then you can self-seed some in the spring straight into the ground, which means you'll have a continual flush of snapdragons throughout your season, which if you're using them for cut flowers is ideal. When you're harvesting them as cut flowers, they do branch, so you can harvest them and they will come back. They're cut and come again flowers, in other words. But eventually you will want to collect those seeds because you don't want to have to keep buying seeds. I have found that mine come true to the varieties that I collect. So my magenta snapdragons came true and came up as magenta snapdragons again. My Costa pinks came back as Costa pinks, and so on and so forth. So that is obviously a very valuable resource. If you can get them to grow to seed and then collect the seeds. And really, that's it. They are really easy to grow. I have only ever failed once, and that was due to my compost. I didn't put the sharp sand in the compost. The compost dried out, turned into a brick, and the roots couldn't navigate through. And so my snapdragons couldn't progress. They could not grow. That was my first attempt at growing them on a windowsill in the winter, and I don't recommend that. I definitely recommend either sowing them now, sowing them in the winter sowing method, or sowing them in spring in either pots or direct into prepared ground. I haven't ever really fed the ones that I've planted out into the garden because I generally feed my garden with compost tea and top dress with new compost every year, and that tends to be enough. So there you go. That's how I do snapdragons. I find them really easy. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. And if you found the video helpful at all, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, and share it with your friends or anyone else who you think might be interested. And I'll see you again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.